So, being an entrepreneur yourself, who is your favorite entrepreneur? Who do you like to emulate, or who do you think is really good?
Well, Steve Jobs is really big on my
I'm a
list.
fan of him too.
I mean, Steve is not only very creative. I mean, he only wants to do great things. And but he also went through tough times with Apple. He was booted out of Apple by the board, and then he went to Pixar, proved himself again, and then came back to Apple. And there are very few people in the world who can do to come back twice. And so he's definitely my hero. Richard Branson, who is also a very colorful character. Yeah, so that's another one.
What about Richard Branson do you like? The fact that he's very daring in his ideas.
Yeah.
You know, he has like 100 over companies.
That's right.
All small, 100 over.
Yeah, and it's because he's dyslexic.
Right.
So he can't focus. So he does too much. He broke every management theory that you must be focused to be successful. But he's very focused on doing many things. So that's his focus. And it's amazing. He's bucked all trends. So quite interesting model. Well, Steve Jobs is very focused.
Yes.
Well, Steve is highly visionary, and his design sense is amazing. So those are things that we all can get inspired by, to try to, whatever we do as well as an iPod or an iPhone. I think he's really made a big impact.
So you'd like to be a good visionary for your company.
Visionary, and being able to execute. Visionary without execution is called dreamer. You dream. Visionary who can execute is an entrepreneur. Then Richard Branson, I think he just does what he wants to do and loves what he's doing. He's very daring and fearless, and you know, there's this wonderful spirit in him which sometimes Singaporeans we need to let go a bit. So quite inspiring too.
So any current Singaporean entrepreneur that you like?
Good question. Well, I admire a few companies for what they're doing, but I don't know them personally, so I dare not say much because I don't know them on a personal basis. But I admire what they're doing for their company.
Any example?
I think you look at the small companies, you look at Charles and Keith, what they have done. I think they're building an amazing brand. I don't know them, so I won't speak about their character. Hyflux, Olivia Lam, who has really taken something and built it into a business. And this clean water is a growing area, so I'm sure she'll do very well globally. Singapore has a great reputation for all this, trusted. I forget another person that I wanted to talk about. I forget, sorry. Come to me. There's a few. I think there's a few that even some are not big, but like that CD shop. Yeah, I think they do their service very well. Their people are very motivated, very knowledgeable. When you buy one, they say if you like this one, you probably will like this one and this one too. It's a bit of the Amazon, and I admire that what they've been able to put into the business there.
When somebody says they want to be an entrepreneur, right? Do you think that there's some qualities that the person needs to have inborn, or can any XYZ, Tom, Dick or Harry actually get the idea and start working? What do you think is the difference that makes a good entrepreneur?
I think you must have the integrity to see it through. So it can't be any Tom, Dick and Harry. You can be bright, you can be not so bright. You can be a scholar, you can be a dropout. You can be, from a rich family or a poor family. I think it really comes to, do you have the integrity and commitment to see it through? Because most people will say wishful thinking. I wish, yeah, when you see someone says, yeah, I also have this idea, yeah, okay, you know. But who is willing to see it through? Yeah, and sometimes the problem with education is it becomes a liability, because the more you study, the more you dare not take risks, right? Because, oh, I got degree, oh, I got PhD, how can I go and start up a company? And you know, when I started, I paid myself $500 a month, when my peers are getting, you know, $4,000-$5,000 at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, how can I like that? You know, so are you willing to sacrifice? Do you have integrity to fulfill your dreams that are telling you this is the right thing? Yeah. So, you know, life is short. You don't want to look back at 50 and say, I wish. Yeah. It's better to have a few cuts, but you know, okay, I tried. Not right for me, never mind. Okay. But I wish is wasted.
Speaking of education system, what do you think about Singapore's education? You have gone to US, you have studied in the US for a few years. When you compare that with that of Singapore, what kind of differences or what kind of improvements you think we should have?
You know, from a knowledge and technical point of view, we are way above what you all study. It's overloaded. Actually, to be an entrepreneur, I mean a researcher is a different thing, but for most of the rest of us in real life, you don't need to study so much. We have too much technical knowledge in there. So that's the problem. We overstudy. There's a thing called overstudy, which actually should let study and let loose, you know. Yeah. So the problem is our people are very bright. I went to MIT and well, yeah, you maybe have a few more brain cells than me, but generally we don't need that many brain cells. We only use 1% of it anyway, you know. So the issue is we value too much the acquisition of technical knowledge, but you only need that much. But other key lessons like determination, about commitment, about hardship, hardy, being agile, I think those are as important in the real world. And obviously interpersonal relationships, and that's from empathy, humility. When you learn to serve people, truly serve people, kena scolded, you know, harassed, and you still just take it in. And you know, I can always tell who's going to be successful when someone works for me. He or she is a part-timer, and they can see through their engagement, through thick and thin. Not sometimes come, sometimes don't come. You know, they see through their commitment. I know that this guy has a much better chance of success already, because in anything you do, if you can't see through it, it becomes a habit. Anytime it becomes a bit hard or a bit painful or a bit inconvenient, you give up. And the world is designed like this. Just when you're going to be successful, it's going to get very hard. And so many people drop off. But if you're willing to go through that hump, that's when you're successful. But life is designed to have that hump. Yeah. So a lot of people drop off the hump.
So that did your education at MIT teach you to hold on, or what did you learn from your years in US in MIT?
In summary, wing it. Yeah. No need to study so much. So first year, like any typical Singaporean scholar, go there, wow, study. Then I look left, I look right. Hey, how come you're not studying so much? Hey, you know, life is not about just studying. There's so much more to do. So second year, I said, okay, I will only get B's now, because A is very difficult. You know, the bell curve. No matter how hard you study, you're still competing with the brains to get the A. There's a quota system. But B a bit more generous. So I said, okay, as an entrepreneur, my entrepreneur side, the best application of effort is just study to get B. Because you got to study so much more to get A. And some of them are geniuses, so how you study also cannot beat them. Right? So get B, but I was fencing. I was on the school team. I trained 5 hours a day. I became captain of the MIT fencing team. We traveled a lot, learned a lot of other things, which I think raise funds for the club, interact with the team, went all over America,